Alright, last thing that we need to do for this game, for this part of the puzzle at least, is making this door move. Now, there's a bunch of different animations we could add. We could add sliding down, we could add sliding to the side. But what I would like to add is a rotate. Now, currently it's rotational pivot to the middle, but I would like it to rotate down, giving us a little bridge to walk over. Now we need to give it a different pivot point because currently, like I said, it's pivoting right here from the center. So if we right click on the door and create a new empty, it'll put that down in the bottom corner. We're just going to drag that across to the middle. Doesn't particularly matter because it's going to rotate down. And I want to drag it just over to the other side. So now this is going to be its pivot point. So I'll give it that name, door pivot. Now we're going to do a little switcheroo and put the door pivot above the door and then the door inside the door pivot. Alright, there we go. Now we can go ahead and add the animations. We're going to add it to the door pivot because that's got the location that we want it to pivot from. So if we go up to window, we're going to need to scroll down to animation, and there's two windows that we're going to need. The first one is the animation window, which is this one here. I'm just going to drag it and put it in this bottom bar here. Second one we need, still under animation, is the animator. Now I'm going to drag it and put it down the bottom as well for now, just so that they're all together. Alright, so I've got the door pivot selected and animation window open. I'm going to click create, which is going to make me an animator and an animation clip. Door closed in a folder for animations, so I'll click save. And this is just what my door is going to look like when it's closed. Now I want to take note of its rotational property because that's the only one I want to be changing. And from the start to the end it's going to be the same because this is just what the door looks like when it's closed. Alright, now I'm going to create a door opening animation, so I'll click create. Once again, I want to record its rotation. Oops, a little plus. And it's going to start closed, and at the end, I'll click record. I want to increase its X rotation so that it goes down like this. Now, I want it at about that 90-degree point. And now if I play my animation, it should be falling down. If this is going too fast, we can move these further out, so it takes longer to get there. I'm just mouse wheeling out, so now this is a slower animation. And that's it. I'll make it about 250. Cool. Now I need to create a new one. This is going to be my door when it's open. So I'll click save. Once again, I want to be recording the rotation. This time it's going to start in its open state and end in its open state. Now it doesn't matter the length there because it's always going to look the same. Now, this is all I need personally for this animation here. I need it to go from closed to open because in my game there's going to be no way to reshut the door. But you can always make a new one for the door closing, which will once again record its rotation. This time it's going to start in its open form and end in its closed form. Now if I want it to be a similar sort of speed, I could zoom out and move this so that it's moving a little bit slower like the opening one, if that's more like what I'm after. Under animator we can see that this thing is from the entry state, so it's going to start off by playing the closed animation. We can then make a transition to the opening animation, then to the open animation. Now that for my game is all I want to happen. So what I should see when I play the game is the door goes through the opening animation, then it just keeps playing the open animation, which looks like this. Which is perfectly fine for me. But it just did that automatically. I don't want it to go from the closed animation to the opening animation like that. So I'll click on this line, and I'm going to go to Parameters. In the plus, these are the 4 types of parameter that we can add. A float, so a number, an integer, so another number, a boolean, so a true or false value, and a trigger. Now, we don't want this to just open when something's triggered. I want it to be on a boolean. The boolean will be just called open door, and by default it'll be shut to close. Alright, so we've clicked on this line here, and a condition is going to be that open door is true. So when I click play, we'll notice that it continuously is playing this door closed animation, because it's not meeting that parameter to go through to the next one, which is where the code comes in. Alright, so now we're just going to add a little bit of code. Now this is our puzzle script, and this is actually where we want the door to be opening. We want the door to be opening at the same time that they get the secret code correct. So I'll make a new public. It's going to be a reference to the door animation. It's going to be a public animator we'll call door open. Alright, so if I write door open dot set bool, then the name of our bool, which we have a quick look back in Unity, we just called open door. Open door to the value of true, which should then go through here, making that condition happen, which should play the rest of our animation. So let's have a try. Cool, so it just wants to know which animator to use, so we're just going to drag over our door pivot, because that's got the animator in it. So when we click play, awesome, so that's the last little bit of code done. So the next time we'll add some new puzzles and other things in other aspects of this little room.